don't trust nobody. In Hollywood specifically, when you get there, a lot of people don't know how to say no. That's the difference between New York City and California.
I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind, but I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling.
We thought this was just about Diddy, like 50 Cent was only targeting the bad boy mogul. But now it's clear he's going much deeper, and it's getting more serious. In his upcoming documentary, 50 Cent isn't just talking about Diddy's alleged abuse and manipulation. He's also turning the spotlight on Jay-Z. Known for his clean image and tightly controlled public life, Jay-Z may have secrets that are finally coming to light. And the biggest surprise, Ramirez is stepping forward to tell his story.
It'd be something I really would want to find out because, in the future.
This time, he's not going to court, he's stepping into the spotlight. In a documentary produced by 50 Cent, and this isn't some random internet rumor from Reddit, Ramirez Satterthwaite has been dealing with this for over 10 years. He says, his mother, Wanda, was only 16 when she had a relationship with Shan Carter in 1992, before she passed away in 2019. She testified under oath that Jay-Z is the father of her child. Born in the summer of 1993, since then, Ramirez claims Jay-Z's legal team has been blocking the truth through manipulation, delays, and even fraud. And if 50 Cent's documentary delivers what it promises, we could be witnessing the fall of one of the most carefully protected images in the music industry.
They once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down.
Let's be clear, this isn't just a man chasing attention. Ramirez's journey has been painful, public, and constantly shut down. The courts have bounced his case around. His mother's testimony was hidden in sealed files, and lawyers have, reportedly, twisted the facts to delay or dismiss the case. At one point, Jay-Z's team even claimed he had no connection to New Jersey, even though public records showed he owned homes there. When they were called out, they said it was just a mistake.
I got older and my mom just continued to say the same thing, and she never changed the name. She always was staying with the same name. I'm like, well, Mom, why? Like, as I got to 16, 17, I'm like, Mom, you've been saying this since I was a kid. So it's like, now my mom never lied to me, so why not believe?
But New Jersey law doesn't go easy on lawyers who knowingly twist the facts. Ramirez says this wasn't just a mistake, it was a strategy. And behind that strategy, he believes, is one disturbing motive: to hide the truth that Wanda was underage, and that Jay-Z never wanted the world to know what really happened.
Basically, my mom was at a show, and she was with a friend, and I guess her and her friend stayed to, after the show, he was doing little signings and little autographs and stuff like that. I guess he wasn't too big, but I guess females, when the show is over, you can sign little autographs and stuff like that, talk to the people who perform. She said she went up there.
And this is where the stakes take a much darker turn. This paternity case isn't happening in a vacuum, it's unfolding just as Jay-Z faces a new lawsuit linking him to Diddy in a disturbing allegation. Both are accused of a shocking crime. From 2000, after an MTV Video Music Awards after-party, the plaintiff, who remains anonymous, claims her drink was spiked and that both men took turns assaulting her when she was just 13 years old. Jay-Z has responded with strong denial, calling the lawsuit a blackmail attempt. "No, sir," he wrote, "I will not give you one red penny." But the legal filings are in, lawyers are moving. And now this new case runs alongside something Jay-Z has avoided for decades: a court-ordered paternity test. And the man bringing all of this into the spotlight, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. For years, he's taken jabs at the industry. But now he's doing what no one else dared: giving Ramirez a voice through a film, a platform, and a bullhorn. For decades, the gatekeepers of hip-hop protected Jay-Z's image, painting him as the faithful husband, savvy businessman, and respected mogul. But when Ramirez steps onto that screen, backed by affidavits, court documents, and years of being ignored, the polished image begins to crack slowly and painfully.
I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie and TV.
The emotional toll on Ramirez has been immense. In interviews, he doesn't ask for money, he asks for clarity and dignity. This isn't about greed or attention, he told the Daily Mail. It's about uncovering the truth. He says, Jay-Z has never acknowledged him. Not a letter, not a denial, not even a simple answer, just silence. And for Ramirez, that silence has been the real punishment. Now, 50 Cent is forcing that silence into the spotlight. And if this documentary lands the way people expect, Jay-Z might not be able to stay quiet much longer. Then there's Beyonce. While Jay-Z plays chess with lawsuits and avoids DNA tests like their IRS subpoenas, rumors are growing that things aren't so peaceful inside the Carter household. One industry insider claims Beyonce has reached her breaking point. She's reportedly given Jay-Z an ultimatum: be transparent or she walks. Sources say she's working with a crisis strategist and is more focused on protecting Blue Ivy and the twins than defending her husband's legacy. Beyoncé has built a powerhouse of her own influence, image, and independence. And if Jay-Z's past threatens to burn that down, she's not the type to go down with someone else's ship. That tension reportedly came to a head at the Mufasa premiere. Jay-Z walked the red carpet, smiling for the cameras, while social media exploded with whispers and sighs. Blue Ivy stood proudly beside him, Beyoncé regal as ever. But 50 Cent couldn't resist. Jay said, "They said, I did something to a kid." He posted mockingly, "Everybody get dressed. We going to see Mufasa, lol." He deleted it later, but not before it went viral. Trolling or truth, you decide. But one thing's clear, Jay-Z might be smiling in public, but behind the scenes, his world is cracking wide open.
Just different things that's not really beef though. That's just competitive.
Competitiveness.
All right, so you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't.
Let's not forget, all of this is unfolding alongside Jay-Z's decades-long bond with Diddy, that brotherhood, that billionaire brunch alliance. The same man who once said, "Whenever I get in trouble, Jay-Z is the one I call." Now, both names are showing up in lawsuits. The allegations range from coercion to abuse to full-on exploitation. This isn't just scandal anymore, it's a reckoning. And 50 Cent is throwing gasoline on the fire, reminding the world that these two didn't rise to the top alone. They rose together, helped each other, protected each other. And now, if one falls, the other might fall with him. That's exactly why this documentary could hit like a cultural earthquake. If 50 Cent delivers what he's promising, if rhyme story is told with receipts, if sealed court documents are unsealed, and if Beyoncé's rumored ultimatum is real, then this isn't just a feud. It's the collapse of a dynasty. Jay-Z the businessman, the husband, the father, every piece of that carefully crafted image is now at risk. And the man holding the wrecking ball, he's smiling like he's already won.
Has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
While Jay-Z fights off allegations from one side, the storm surrounding Diddy is pulling him into even deeper, darker waters. This isn't just guilt by association, it's a decades-long entanglement. Jay-Z and Diddy didn't just build music empires, they built a machine. They moved as one, through the same parties, closed the same deals, navigated the same velvet-rope circles of wealth, power, and protection.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past, okay?
But now, the same man who once raised a glass to Jay-Z at a black billionaire's brunch is behind bars, facing a list of charges that reads more like a Hollywood thriller than a legal indictment. And the question that won't go away, how much did Jay-Z know? How deep does this really go, and is he next?
For him, although interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
The whispers have echoed through the industry for years, but no one dared to speak them aloud. The white parties in the Hamptons, the NDAs stacked higher than platinum records, the quiet payouts, the artists who vanished after speaking up. Former insiders now allege there was a VIP blackmail ring system built not just to entertain, but to control. Footage recorded, favors exchanged, leverage weaponized, all under the illusion of glamour. And at the center of it all, Jay-Z, Diddy, their circle, their fortress. But that fortress is cracking. Federal raids have already stormed Diddy's properties, uncovering what agents claim could be damning evidence, including over 1,000 bottles of lubricant. Yes, 1,000. Now, sworn testimonies allege coercion, abuse, even trafficking in velvet and poured into champagne flutes. Celebrities who once flocked to those parties are suddenly silent or scrambling for distance. And with 50 Cent's documentary digging back into the early 2000s, this stops being about isolated scandals. It becomes something bigger, a blueprint for abuse, a culture of silence, a system that let kings rule without question until now.
This guy,
50's not to be.
No, don't.
50's to be.
Fifth, y'all don't even. Fifth is
Play around if you
different.
want to.
Fifth is different.
And he's on tour.
And speaking of sirens, that brings us right back to 50 Cent, the man they once dismissed as petty, trolling, obsessed. But now, he's starting to look more like a prophet in the shadows. For years, he's been throwing jabs mocking Diddy's parties, questioning Jay-Z's silence, even half-joking that he needed security before posting memes. He called them out not just for bad behavior, but for hypocrisy, for hiding behind philanthropy while allegedly walking over broken lives. What once felt like trolling now feels calculated, because this documentary, it's not a grudge match. It's strategic warfare, backed by Netflix, helmed by a director known for tearing open cultural wounds. 50 isn't just going after two men, he's coming for the illusion they helped build. And it's hitting hard. harder than most expected. Because while Jay-Z crafted a brand rooted in social justice and transparency, he's remained silent as his closest ally faces human trafficking allegations. Not a word against Diddy, no call for accountability, just silence, and increasingly shaky denials as his own name starts slipping into court filings. He's not the only one watching his legacy fracture, but he might be the one with the most to lose.
And telling people who the sponsors are. So if they want to harass Cadillac and AT&T, that'll happen.
The human toll of this unraveling story is hitting hardest behind the Carter family's closed doors. As Jay-Z tiptoes through legal landmines and mounting scrutiny, it is Beyoncé who's reportedly left holding the emotional center together. This isn't just a brand crisis, it's an identity fracture. For a family that built its legacy on elegance, control, and carefully choreographed unity. Insiders say the emotional strain is deeper than any headline. Behind the lights and carpets lies the raw, gut-wrenching task of explaining to their children why the world is whispering their father's name in disgust. And of all their kids, it's Blue Ivy standing at the most fragile crossroads. She's no longer a toddler shielded from tabloids. She's a teenager, with friends, with questions, with internet access. On that Mufasa red carpet, she stood tall, dignified, but sources say the weight behind her smile was crushing. For years, she was heir to a cultural throne. Now, she could become the face of its fall, and Beyoncé. Her legendary protection instincts are being pushed to the brink. Her silence, once a symbol of grace, now reads as strain. Every step outside their LA compound, every post, every glance, is dissected for clues. Is she staying? Is she done? Is she playing chess while the world assumes checkmate? The internet is split. Some call her complicit. Others say she's trapped. But those closest to her say the real story is simpler and sadder. She's trying to hold her family together while the empire she helped build starts to collapse from within.
Go back to that 50 Cent post. And I'm gonna tell you why 50 is literally a diabolical genius.
The emotional stakes stretch far beyond a strained marriage. This is about children growing up in the eye of a cultural hurricane, bombarded by half-truths, viral headlines, and a narrative they never chose. Jay-Z's silence might be a calculated, legal strategy, but to his kids, it feels like confusion. For Blue Ivy, it's a PR war being waged with her face front and center. And while Beyoncé reportedly works with crisis teams to contain the fallout, no amount of curated image control can shield a child from the psychological gut punch of watching her family name trend for all the wrong reasons. Fame buys privilege, but it offers no immunity from shame. And this is where the story turns from scandal to tragedy. Because no matter how the lawsuits land, how carefully statements are crafted, or how vigorously Jay-Z defends himself, his children will inherit this chapter. Not the Grammys, not the billion-dollar portfolio. As while 50 Cent weaponizes truth for impact and timelines erupt into digital battlegrounds. What gets lost are the quiet rooms, the hushed conversations behind closed doors, where a family is trying to process betrayal, public humiliation, and the slow erosion of trust. This isn't just the fall of a brand, it's the emotional cost of empire.
I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie and TV studio.
Meanwhile, 50 Cent is flipping the script. Once dismissed as a petty provocateur, he's now repositioning himself as a cultural disruptor artist turned executive. Executive turned demolition crew. He's not just creating content. He's controversy. With access to sealed court records, alleged victims, and most crucially, Ramir Satterthwaite, 50 is orchestrating a controlled demolition of the Jay-Z myth. And let's be clear, this isn't business. It's personal. The tension between them has simmered for over 2 decades. Now, 50 isn't just airing dirty laundry, he's itemizing it, binding it in narrative, and daring the public to look away. The real shock might not be what we've seen, it's what hasn't dropped yet. Because if this documentary delivers what insiders claim it will, we're about to witness the doors of hip-hop's inner sanctum blown clean off the hinges. Rumors are already swirling, names whispered, deals made in back rooms, careers exchanged. For silence, some of these players are still powerful. Others are barely clinging to cultural relevance. But they all share one thing. They built their status atop the same cracked foundation. So if Jay-Z's legacy begins to collapse, the question won't just be what did he do? It'll be who was standing beside him the whole time.
Different things that's not really beef though. That's just competitive.
Competitiveness.
All right, so you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, damn. All right, I didn't know what.
And here's where everything stops. Because we've seen this before, industries cracking wide open when just one relentless voice pulls back the curtain. Hollywood had its reckoning. Big tech had its crash. And now, it might be music's turn. With billion-dollar brands teetering and fan loyalty on the edge, it won't take a tidal wave, just a single fracture. And 50 Cent knows it. That's why his timing isn't petty. It's surgical. This documentary isn't gossip, it's gauntlet thrown down in front of fans, media, and insiders who always knew and said nothing. So here's the million-dollar question. If Jay-Z falls, who falls with him? Is this the moment the velvet curtain finally drops, not just on one icon, but on an entire empire built on silence, power, and image? Now we want to hear from you. Is Jay-Z's silence guilt or strategy before the storm hits? Drop your thoughts. Beyond, don't hold back. This story is still unfolding. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, even legends can bleed.